This is Math 2, 9.5 notes. That's Math 2, Unit 9, Lesson 5. The title is Factor Trinomials. These are the trinomials we're going to be factoring. Ax squared plus bx plus c. Remember, it's a trinomial and it's the degree is 2, so it's a quadratic trinomial. Now, sometimes a is 1, 1x squared plus bx plus c. That is a possibility. These plus signs can be negative, so it could be ax squared minus bx plus c or minus bx minus c. Plus, minus, it doesn't matter. And it is possible for a to be 1. Okay, number 1, we're going to review, and I want you to multiply the quantity of x plus 4 times the quantity of x plus 3. Okay, doing our double distribution, and if you wanted to, you could do the window method, the box method over on the side. You don't have to do both. You're picking one or the other, x4, x3, and filling in the boxes. And you distribute first the x. We've done a few of these, which is x squared plus 3x plus 4x, and I forgot to change colors, plus 4x plus 12. Okay, so you add your like terms, and you get x squared plus 7x plus 12. All right, and if you had done this way, you would have ended up with the same thing. X squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 12, combine the like terms, and you end up with this here. Okay, what we're going to be doing today is working backwards, just like we did on our GCF days, like factoring with the greatest common factor. I'm going to give you the original problem. I'm going to give you the answer, and you're going to work your way backwards to come up with the original problem. Okay, so it's going to look like this. It's going to ask you to factor, and they're going to give you x squared plus 7x plus 12. Does that make sense? They're going to give you this and say, what was in the double bubble to begin with? So what you do is you list your factors of 12, and I'll show you why. Let's just list them from now in order. 1 goes into 12, 2 goes into 12, 3 goes into 12, and 4 goes into 12. 2 times 6, 3 times 4, 4 times 3. Now we don't need to list this one twice. 3 and 4, 4 and 3, that is the same thing, so I can erase it. So those are all my products, my factors that multiply to 12. Now the reason I picked these is because my last number here multiplies to 12. So I know when I double bubble, my last number here is going to be 1 and 12, or 2 and 6, or 3 and 4. We know from this it's going to be 3 and 4, but how do we figure that out? Next, I want to put my x's in, x and x, because x times x is the x squared. Okay, so again, x times x is the x squared. I look here, the only way to get a positive is if both of my signs are the same. So meaning they both have to be positive or they both have to be negative. One or the other. If my last sign is positive, it's going to be either minus minus or plus plus. And the reason is if it was one positive and one negative, it would not multiply to a positive number. Okay, and then you just pick numbers. You pick 1, 12, you try 2, 6, you try 2, 4. I'm going to try 3, 4 because I know it works, and we're going to try somewhere we don't know what works, and I'm going to show you how to check it. Okay, so how do you know, like say you didn't do all this work previously, how do you know if this is the true factored form of this? You do your double distribution. X times x is x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 12, and sure enough it works. X squared plus 7x plus 12, so this is the true factored form of the original problem. That's how we work backwards. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut so you're not doing all of this multiplication every single time. And the reason we don't have to do all the foiling, all the double distribution, is because when we set this up, we know that x times x is x squared, and we know that 3 times 4 is 12. The only numbers we never checked was that the middle numbers, once you double distribute, add up to the middle number, the 7x. So I'm going to show you a shortcut for that as we go. All right, so let's try some examples. We are going to factor and check. And yes, you have to check. Now, I didn't say check by double distribution or check by multiplication. You can check using the shortcut that I'm going to give you in just a bit. Some kids don't like the shortcut. They like to do the double distribution. It's just easier for them, and that is okay. Okay, x squared minus 16x plus 64. All right. And here we go. We do our double bubble. And what's the coefficient here? It is a 1. It's nice when it's a 1 because 1 times 1 is the only way to get 1. So we know it's going to be 1x and 1x. I'm just going to put x and x, but it's the same thing as 1x times 1x. Now, we talked about this earlier. This sign is positive, which means my two signs have to be the same. Now, earlier here, they were both plus plus. And the reason, I don't think I said it earlier, the reason we know they're both plus plus is because we had to add up to a positive 7. If they were both minus minus, that wouldn't work. Here, I have to add up to a negative 16, so they both have to be negative. So, when it's a positive sign at the end, you know, oh, same, you look at the neighbor to see if it's plus plus or minus minus. The neighbor in this case tells me it's minus minus. Okay, I list all the products of 64 in order so you don't miss any. Always start with 1. 1 will always work. And sometimes this product here is actually what works in the problem. It's not in this case, but we're still listing it. 1 is 64. 2 times 32, you can use your calculator. 3 does not go. You can divide 64 by 3. It doesn't work. Divide by 4. 4 times 16. Divide by 5. Divide by 6. Divide by 7. None of those work. And then 8 times 8, and that is all of them. Now, you want to find numbers that when you double distribute, it's going to add up to negative 16. Now, some of you can figure out, oh, it's going to be 8 and 8, and we're going to get more practice as we go if you didn't catch that right away and how to figure it out. Okay, so let me show you the shortcut on how to check it so you don't have to do all the double distribution. We know x times x is x squared. We know negative 8 times negative 8 is positive 64. The one that we've not yet checked for is the negative 16. And here's what you do. You do your inside and your outside, the outer and inner piece of the foil. Okay, negative 8 times x is negative 8x. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. And you always add those two numbers together. Negative 8x plus negative 8x is negative 16x. Is that your middle number? It sure is. We are super happy, so we put our little smiley face in. We're happy we got the right answer. And this is your answer. Okay, on a test, this is what you would put in the answer column. But when I look at your workspace, this is part of showing your work, and you need to have it there. Okay, let's try another one. Number 3. Number 3 is 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. All right, now this leading coefficient is 2. So not as easy as 1, but still easy because 2 is prime. The only way to get 2 is 1 times 2. So when we do our double bubble, the only possibility is 1x and 2x. You could, if you want, put 2x first and then the 1x. It doesn't matter. As long as 1x times 2x is 2x squared. And because 2 is prime, that's the only possibility. Okay, this tells me my two signs have to be the same. Why do they have to be the same? Because it's positive. And the only way to get a positive is if it's plus plus or minus minus. The neighbor tells me that they are both going to be plus, so I know it's going to be plus plus. And then I put my 3. My factors of 3. 3 is prime. The only possibility is 1 and 3. Now, we don't know, this is where the guess and check comes in. This method is called guess and check. Don't know if I said that earlier. And it's called guess and check because you have to guess a number and then check it. Guess a number and then check it. And you have to keep guessing and checking until you get it to work. So I am purposely, well, let's try it. I'm going to try 3 and 1. And here is how you check it. You do your inside 3 times 2. And I am actually going to check 1 and 3 first. Sorry. I'm going to check 1 and 3, which makes sense because it's in that order. 1, 3. And I'm going to check it. 1 times 2x is 2x. 1x times 3 is 3x. You add them together. 3 plus 2 is 5x. Is that the middle term? That's the one we're checking. It is not. We're not happy, so we have to check again. I'm going to repeat that. X times 2x is 2x squared. 1 times 3 is 3. Why is it not work? Why is this not the answer? Because 1 times 2x is 2x. 1x times 3 is 3x, and that adds up to 5x, which is not what I'm trying to get. So I'm going to leave my 1x first and my 2x second. And I'm going to leave it plus plus, but instead of 1, 3, I'm going to change the 3 and 1 its position. And that does make a difference. 1x plus 1 versus 1x plus 3, they're different. 2x plus 3 versus 2x plus 1, that is different. Okay, still, 1x times 2x is 2x squared. 3 times 1 is 3. Let's check. Inside is 6x. Outside is 1x. Add those together, that is 7x. Woohoo, that's what we're trying to get. We're happy, we smile, and we box in our answer. Okay, number 4, y squared minus 3y minus 54. Okay, I'm going to start you off, double bubble. Because there's a 1 here, the only way to get 1y squared is 1y and 1y. Now, here's the tricky part. This is negative. If the sign, so far we've only had positive everywhere. But if the last sign is negative, that means my 2 signs are going to be different. 1 positive and 1 negative. We don't know which one's which. We just know one's positive, one's negative. You can put minus plus, plus minus. It does not matter because we're going to check it anyway to see if it works. And then you list your factors of 54 in order, always starting with 1. 1 and 54, it's even, so 2 goes into 54. 2 times 27. 3 goes into 54. Use your calculator. 3 times 18. Divide by 4, it doesn't work. Divide by 5, it doesn't work. Divide by 6, 6 times 9. And I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to have you try some of these numbers on your own. Try, say, 3 and 18 or 18 and 3, 6 and 9 or 9 and 6. You may have to flip-flop them depending on your signs, or flip-flop your signs. It's up to you and how you get it to work. I'm going to have you try this one on your own, and we'll check it together in class. That is it for this lesson.